If you see in the program, we have what we call MATBA. MATBA is the MBA in Air Transport Management. Why I decided to give you a short presentation about MATBA? The reason is the fact that it is a program will be bland. Then we will use digital technology. Then we start talking with the University of the Aegean and Andreas Papatheodorou, who will lead this program back in 2010. Then technology was not so aggressive at that time, but these things changed. And I will tell you one thing. I had the opportunity in 2009 to teach in an aviation MBA online program in the United States, and it was a year that Yorgos, our son is here also today, that he was born. And I said, okay, we're in 2009. When Yorgos will finish school, the environment will be completely different. Then we have to see the new technology. Don't forget, 2009, not even the iPhone was so popular. It was in the start using them. Then what I said, then we have to move forward and see, because things in the future will be different. Unfortunately, there are some universities, not the Aegean, those that we were trying to see what we can do and to embrace this concept. They were stubborn and they were old-fashioned. Once we talked with Andreas, and as Andreas is also professor at the University of the Aegean, things move really fast. But we could do that even before COVID. Then we were really ready to move ahead of this. Therefore, why we talk about MATBA? MATBA is a program, as I said, that will be digital. And the concept is that will be a program where we'll focus on building the new leaders of the air transport globally. And I have a PhD in air transport management from Cranfield, but and I have taught in many universities, Daniel Webster College, where I had the online, Lewis Business School, Coventry University, Cranfield University, and so on. But I never saw something would be really focused on the future. And the concept is to be able to allow more and more people from all over the world to participate in this program. Of course, as a program we start here in Greece, we also target the Greek market, but also we target the world. Then I'm really pleased to show you the logo that you're going to see. It's the MATBA. Then it's my personal design, and it's organized by the University of the Aegean and Democritou University of Thrace, with really the support of Athens Airport. Hopefully, Fraport Greece also will be part soon, and my organization, Hermes. For those who don't know, the Hermes is an organization. Members are the decision maker of the air transport. Mehmet Nane, the chairperson of Pegasus, it's my vice president. Then, to give you more details, this MBA constitutes an innovative program. It's the first in Greece specializing in air transport, and of course the first to be digital approach. Then, as already told you, this will be in collaboration between the University of the Aegean and the University of Thrace in north of Greece, and including the two organizations I told you. This program, that by the way will start in February next year, we're waiting just the final approvals from the Ministry of Education to be able to officially promote the program and to allow us to have registration. Petros, say correctly so far the things, because you know much better than me this process. Under this master program, graduates will be able to understand the complexity and the disciplinary of air transport, having in-depth knowledge of goods, service, and infrastructure constituting it. Identify, analyze, and thoroughly study based on acquired theoretical foundation, operational and technological issues, partnering with the air transport sector, particularly in airports, airlines, air navigation providers. Understand the legal, regulatory, and institutional framework governing air transport. Understand the legal, design appropriate business strategies and policies to address emerging issues in the airline industry. Apply necessity, practical, and experiential knowledge to meet the constantly changing condition of air transport, and then continue their studies at the doctoral level if they want. Then, as I already told you, this will be not only focused on airlines, will not focus on airports, but also the air navigation service providers. Then, let's say the whole ecosystem of the aviation. And as I already told you, this the teaching process consists of 10 3-hour lectures, 30 hours of teaching per course as follows. At the beginning of the first semester will be 3 semesters. The people, the students, we will be meet in person in Chios. Then, for those who haven't been yet in Chios, it's an amazing island and an amazing experience. And let's say for those working in the industry, they have the opportunity to relax a little bit from the heavy workload. And then we'll continue online. Then everything will be in synchronous and asynchronous lectures. As already told you, we try to be close with the industry. That's Hermes is involved. We signed an MOU with the University of the Aegean back in 2021. And in order also to make this distinction with other programs, we will have an industry board that I'm really pleased to chair. And the members are really, I will tell you the names, are really top in the world, and covering all the aspects of the air transport ecosystem. And based on the alphabetical order is Peter Elvers, that is the CEO of Indigo. It's the largest airline in India. Rania Yorgutsako is the Managing Director of Airlines for Europe. It's the organization of European airlines. Arjan Argitens is the President of Hermes. And of course, previous Director General of ACI worked for several years. Simon Hacker, the Director General of CANSO, the Civil Air Navigation Service Organization. Then we cover also the ANSP part. Glenn Hughes, Director General of the International Air Cargo Association, TIACA. Then we cover also the ecosystem of the cargo, because TIACA covers all the aspects, not only the airlines, but the freight forwards and so on. Olivier Yankovic, the Director General of ACI Europe. Then we have the representation of the airports, especially the European ones. Mehmet Naner, who is the Co-Executive Director of IAF, the International Aviation Forum, and of course, Chairperson of Pegasus Airlines. Dr. Yannis Parasis, the Managing Director, CEO of Athens International Airport. And finally, Abdul Wahab Tefaha, Secretary General of Arab Air Carriers Organization. Then we cover also this demand of the dynamic area of the Middle East. And last but not least, Walid Youssef, the Director General of Airport Service Association, I mean the organization of the ground handling. Then, as you can see here in this program, we want everyone to be on board. I was for years as Vice President of Air Transport Research Society, the academics of the air transport. And there is a gap between what the academicians want, the university wants, and what the industry wants. Most of the people that are studying to have an MBA, they don't want to become professors. They want to be absorbed by the air transport industry. And with this program, we want to build the next leaders. We want to teach them to be the next leader of the air transport. That is quite critical for our industry. We have to start building really the masses that will allow us to have the future of our business. Of course, with the University of the Aegean and Hermes, we are thinking also to go to schools, because we want to attract also those people to follow a path, to have a career in aviation. Because we were going to talk about digitalization, but we want people behind. Then, okay, there are many things are replaced by technology, but still in areas of aviation, we were not going to see so much digitalization. Probably a question mark. We have here really great speakers. We're going to talk soon about this, but I don't see pilotless aircraft soon. I don't see robots doing the MRO check soon. Then definitely we need people, or NSP, the air traffic control. So see, the ATC will be operated by robots. Then we need the human power, and we need to be sure we have the right people to be there. There are gaps, there are challenges, I always say, And I hope this will be fixed over the next years. And this is one of the things, because if we don't invest in education, we cannot move forward. That was the presentation about MATBA. I don't know if you have any question regarding MATBA. Soon we'll have a website that will be MATBA.aero. We'll have all the information. As I said, we were waiting the confirmation, the approval from the Ministry of Education in order to move forward and to be able to announce officially this program, and of course to accept registrations. And of course your staff, they can become students of this program. I forgot to mention that a program will be no expensive for an MBA. Then the total cost will be 10,000 euros, and will be, as I said, 3 semesters. Then 2 semesters of courses and 1 semester that will be the dissertation. And the reason also that it's digital is the fact that the people working in the industry, they don't need to get the sabbatical, need to lose their job or leave their job in order to do the MBA. They can continue working. Of course, it will be a heavy work because every afternoon they have to participate to the online class, but they can continue in parallel to have their work and at the same time to have this MBA that allow them. Don't forget, we talk about MBA. Then let's say someone who do the MBA decide to choose field and not continue the aviation, then it's an MBA from a public, from a state university in Greece, then you can find work in another sector. Of course, it's in a program will be specialized in aviation, but it does not say that this will not allow the people to move to another sector. Also, we will have professors coming also from abroad, and we have 8 nationalities. And also our contribution as Hermes is one of the course leader. It's Andres Schneider, till last September the CEO of Geneva Airport, and has a really long CV and teach in the past. And we want to be the people teaching for the next leaders, and they know this sector. I don't know, Petros, if you want to add any word about the program, because you know you embraced from the start to work together, and now we work very actively the last year, more than a year.
It is a big challenge for us to organize such an international MBA together with the industry. We have this experience. The last years we moved to the close relationships with the industry because of the participation in research projects. So now we try to meld both education and research. So to create the links. So our students are at the same time formed as in the classrooms, but they have also research experience, and research experience by participating in international projects too. So that's the objective, and I believe this is a big challenge, a big opportunity, and I'm pretty optimistic we'll succeed, and we'll succeed together.
Yeah, that's what Petros said. Working together is the only way forward. I'm saying that for many years in the aviation, and it's quite critical about the success of our industry, an industry that is quite important for our modern society. Then, any question? Otherwise, we'll move to our keynote.
Is this going to be an international course, like English speaking?
Yes, sorry. Yeah, thanks for your question. Yeah, it will be 100% English.
Yeah.
What's the profile of the future candidates for this program?
Well, as it is, and Pedro, you can add if I'm not missing something. You know, as it is a public university in Greece, have to go the specific course. Then we need to have a bachelor that is recognized in Greece, and then from any university in Greece.
In which field?
Not necessarily. Well, of course, our main focus is for those people working already in the sector, then have an experience. But it's not something we say that those that don't have any experience, that we don't accept them. But it will be a little bit more difficult for them to understand, because from the start, day one, I'm the first, I'm teaching in the first day, then we're going to present the ecosystem of the aviation, then the different international organizations, how they work together and how to work the ecosystem. But they don't say that those that finish a bachelor immediately, then want to do an MBA, they can do it. They need to do a little more effort, but you know, mainly it's customized for those already working in the sector. They don't have an MBA, they don't have this level of or a master, then that allow them to get an MBA and allow them to be in a specific program that is an industry program. Because you saw already, we have a collaboration with us and International Airport. We have an industry board. We will sign MOUs with other international organizations. As I said, we might have also Fraport and so on. And again, it's not focused on Greece. That's why it's in English. Then it's we can have 60 applicants. No, 60 entries, sorry, per year.
What will be the duration of this?
It's 2 semesters the classes and 1 semester the dissertation. John, any other questions?
There's so many questions about it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's a great initiative, and I'm just thinking, I mean, what is the maximum number of people that can participate in this?
60.
60 is the maximum?
Yes.
Is this going to be online as well?
We said
Or
10 days
10
in the
days,
start will be on site, and
Yeah.
this is why we do that, because it's a bonding. Then the people
Right.
will be able to
Right.
see the professors,
Right.
and then at the same time to see where they belong to, because the university, if everything will be virtual,
Yeah.
it's not nice. When I was teaching in the program in the United States, I never went while I was teaching in the university. I never saw them. Then never, there was not this bonding between
True.
the people, and they need to do also assignment together. Then it's good to, to meet for 10 days, to know each other.
Just 10 days. Huh?
Sorry,
Just 10 days.
Yeah, around 10 days. We will work with the university. Then, trust me, here's a fantastic place to have really a good time for 10 days. Then it will be no problem. But the concept is to make this bonding between the different. The plan is to have different nationalities. Then they have to work together.
One question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One question. You said the basic profile is having a bachelor
Yes.
degree. So is there also the opportunity if they don't have the bachelor but they have experience about 10 years in the industry? That's
No.
not possible.
Petros,
It is the law
in Greece.
in most European countries.
Okay.
Does not allow the people with professional training and without a bachelor to continue to the master's
Okay.
And also-
studies.
And also the bachelor in the UK, that's 3 years, is not equivalent to the bachelor in Greece, that is 4 years. I don't know if you have-
We find solutions.
Okay.
In this case, we find
But
solutions.
the
because we
American
recognize-
is, the American bachelor's is, right?
It is,
Okay.
it is. And the UK bachelor practically it is, because
Okay.
we have now.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking because I have done this experience by myself. I've done my master's in Germany with the experience in more than 15 years.
Yeah.
But it was master in IT, not in aviation business. But
Germany is a little bit different from
Yeah.
the other European countries because of the weight of the industry. Yeah?
Yeah,
Right.
of
So
course.
that's the
No, there's the law, there
But
is not.
I
Yeah,
don't
there's a lot
exclude
of-
that in the future we will adopt such solutions because it is really an opportunity for people in the industry to move to the education. So this is training, huh?
Of
And
course.
So I believe even if not in the master, we'll have other activities like summer schools or specific training programs.
Yeah.
Courses.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Or diploma, something like that.
Yes.
But this is an MBA, just to clarify. Then we're working about do some other project that will not be an academic accredited program, because this will be academic accredited program. They need to have a specific way to get there.
Sure.
Well, fortunately, unfortunately, the Greek law says they have to have to have a bachelor, recognized bachelor. And secondly, also the course leader need to have a PhD. Then nobody that does not have a PhD can be a course leader in the program. Then it's something that is the current situation. Well, take it positively, not negatively. Well, when I was doing my PhD, I wanted to have a professor who had the PhD, because in the UK there were some professors who didn't have a PhD. I don't know how you can teach someone if you don't have the PhD. But there is another thing I want to add. In this program, the industry board will serve like as an ambassador, but at the same time, we're going to hear lectures from the industry. Then it will not be only those that are in this list. Then you can be part where we talk about IT, we talk about about cargo, we talk about ANSP, airlines, airports. That people will give lectures, that because we want to bond also the future leaders to speak with the current leaders. This is also an idea. Either will be by the web, by digital, or will be on site. Then we want to bond the relation between the future generation with the current leaders.
It's again, it's very important, and I think there's a lot of eagerness from our side as well to see people coming into our industry.
Yeah.
And of course, we need to share the actual experience that we have to these students, and the biggest issue that we have is we don't have a pool of people coming in.
Yeah.
And we need to create this pool of people coming in to give the opportunity to them to join us. Even us, when we're broader, it doesn't really matter to us. But we need this, we don't have this pool of people for the future of the Air Force, with this new mindset. And this program will create this mindset that we don't have. That we're looking for in the new generation.
I think a lot of airports have this challenge of demographic fluctuation, so they need to attract new professionals for the future.
Anyway,
In time.
Good job.
we can talk later also. Then we move now to the keynote presentation that already you saw. Petros Kavassalis, who is the Vice-Rector for Research and Innovation at the University of the Aegean. It's not because he's the sponsor of this today event, but we talked for more than a year about digitalization. Then I think our discussion with this event just again work together, and he will give us a different perspective because we are from the industry. But as I said earlier, the passengers, they don't care to be heaven up, Pegasus, of Star Alliance, of the airport. They want everything simplified. They want to go from one place to the other and have everything together, everything. Passport, the travel experience. As Petros said in his closing remarks, reimagining the experience of the people. Then we need to get into this digital transformation and see the broader image. Don't forget that the University of the Aegean is very, very well known to be an innovative university, and also have the first MBA in tourism. Then aviation is part of tourism, and tourism is a heavy industry of Greece. Then is the perfect case study that what we do here can be done also in other parts of the world. Then Petros will present to us the digital identity wallets and fast checkout customer experience for the transportation and hospitality industry that include ferry, aviation, hotels, and beyond. Don't forget, we are part of the chain. The passenger wants to have the full experience, not only when you get to the airport. Then, Petros, we cannot have a better expert than you to do the presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. And I had a hip fracture, so I'm going to recover rapidly. In a way, today is the day of the University of the Aegean. We run more than 20 master's programs in several domains, from the environment to the tourism or the IT technologies. And of course, we do a lot of research. And usually our students are working at the same time with the professors teaching the necessary classes, and with the researchers doing research and participate in global, international, European consortium. Since we are a young university, mostly with young professors, we create this link, this direct link with our students. We say that we know our students by their nickname or by their first name. This is an atmosphere we want to make it more international now, to invite more students from other countries in our campus, and of course in our online infrastructures. Today I will talk, Fyodor presented a bright future for the industry, glorious future, where everything will be digital and people will have a touchless experience with airlines or airports. And so there are several ways to have this bright world, to realize this new bright world. And these paths are complementary and competitive. AI, you mentioned AI, robotics, now we use robotics in the airports, automation, a lot of automation, and of course the mobile technologies, because the mobile is the interface with the customer. Now, it's a reality for everybody in the industry, not only in this industry, in every industry. It is the interface, it's a customer channel. What I present here is how we can make this customer channel useful for the industry, for the aviation, the ferry industry, the hotels, the transportation industry, the hospitality industry in general. I have an argument to present. I think it's a strong argument. We are facing a new generation of mobile technologies that go beyond what we already know. We are familiar with the Apple wallet, we are familiar with the Google wallet, eventually with PayPal. We face now the challenge of a new generation of technologies, digital identity wallets. I will explain the difference with the current wallets. And my argument is that these wallets introduce a major disruption in the industry, in the hospitality and the transportation industry, and they introduce both challenges and opportunities. The first question that comes in mind is, does the aviation industry recognize this new reality? In many cases, we have seen industries to ignore what is going to happen and to become surprised from the future. This is not the case with aviation. If you look at the work done by IATA, the last years IATA insists in the need of digitization, specifically the use of digital technologies and the mobile wallets in order to simplify the experience of the customer or to create a new digital experience for the customer. This is the last, one of the last meetings of IATA in Australia, hosted by Kostas, where people from different disciplines, governments, the industry, academics participated, and the public announcement, the press release from this event is really impressive, because it is clear that first time the IATA recognizes the immediate need to adopt digital technologies in the relationship with the customer, with the passenger, and this is important, IATA says, because it improves at the same time the security and the operational efficiency. So you have simplification of the customer relationship, more security, and of course, operational efficiency. IATA is really clear, describes in a very clear terms the benefits from this trajectory in terms of identification of the passenger. We may have a stronger identification of the passenger we don't have right now, and because of the international law, of course, the airlines do have, but if you go to ferries, there is nothing which is accurate. When you buy a ticket, you can provide any name, and since we are now trying to create the composite tickets between the different transportation means we need to apply the same rules everywhere. So there is a stronger document identity, so there is of course trust. We increase trust through these technologies, and operational efficiency in the sense of streamlining things. If you have these technologies applying in the airline enrollment services or in the airports, it is clear that you streamline the operations with more efficiency. So this is the benefit. So what's this new technology which promise to realize all this benefit? Technically speaking, it is a very new concept that uses cryptography, a lot of cryptography, to create credentials that are tamper evident. If you issue now a boarding pass from any company, actually in most cases Amadeus issues these electronic digital boarding passes, you take just a picture. I can send my picture, my boarding pass to you, and you can eventually cross. Many securities checks with a boarding pass which is not really yours. Someone should ask you to present a photo ID in order and compare the names in order to prove identity. So we have elementary, efficient for the moment, ways to handle the customer, the passenger, but of course we need to have more trusted, more technically performant solutions. And they are verifiable credentials. I will explain then why we are verifiable credentials. They transform in the digital world the experience of the wallet. So we have a wallet where we put credit cards, we put identity cards. So in the digital world we are going to create a similar concept, a wallet, where we put credentials, and these credentials, as we see in a while, they may be identity documents, they may be travel documents, from the passport to boarding pass to everything, and of course payment cards. So it's really the streamline of everything and the use of the wallet to proceed in that way. So is it a mature technology? IATA says yes. It's a proven technology and it's ready to use. So we don't present here things that will happen in the future. We present things that they are going to happen. And so IATA works a lot in this direction. This is the map of the with two different areas. On the left is the digitization of admissibility, so the idea that every document presented in order to travel will be digital, and the verification of the document also will be digital. So you have this part, and you have the second part where you navigate through the airport, the difficult area. For the airlines, the task is much easier. For the airports, it's a little bit more difficult because they have to implement this technology at many different points, from the check-in to the boarding control, to the gates, passing by the border control authorities. So it's a complex story. For airlines, much simpler story. And you can see this picture that there is a common element between part 1 and part 2. And the common element is face image. So airlines share with the airports the face image of the passenger. Is that good? It is necessary in the current conditions. When I travel frequently to Boston, when I enter the Logan Airport, immediately I present my boarding pass. Someone takes a picture and SIM, and then this document it makes me a passenger that can travel across the different checkpoints of the airport without friction. But the face of the passenger is stored somewhere, and we don't know, and we don't want that. And we don't want that because it's expensive. It's very expensive to store personal photos and to care about the privacy and the security of this information. It's really expensive. And then it is not very practical for many reasons, and it's not in the ethics and the evolution of the society where privacy is important, and we share our photos only when it is necessary. In this case, it's not necessary. So IATA is IATA. IATA is doing the work they know to do. I can see very slow adoption of these technologies. You are familiar with One ID, no? It is a concept, it's not a reality. Europe has a different view, or let's say its own axiom scheme. In Europe, we insist in the use of an open reference architecture framework and open standards. And this is important. I will explain later why it is important. So the main concept in Euro now around is the concept of a digital identity. And this digital identity becomes an obligation for all member states to provide digital identity to every citizen. And this will happen through a wallet, wallet that will be provided by the governments. All member states from next year will start offering to the citizens this a wallet. And progressively such a wallet will be adopted also by the corporation, by the business. So the future is that we'll have a personal identity, digitized, authoritative, introduced, stored in a wallet which is tamper evident, and so we'll have also an organizational identity. And the two identities can interact with them. So the new customer channel is almost ready. What we can do with this wallet? Since the wallet will store all the identity documents and other documents that are personal important documents, for example, the diploma will provide to MBA to students who successfully complete our MBA, or your social security number. Everything will be stored there. And so I will use this wallet in order to identify in person or in online services. And this across Europe. So all European countries will accept the same standards. So if I have an identity from Greece, I travel to France and I present this identity, and this identity will be recognized immediately, not from an agent, from a machine. And this will happen also with any online service in Europe, and including banks. The identification, this second factor identification we experience today, either through SMS or specific application of the banks, will be completed with the use of the EU DIGI wallet. So we have a large number of services in process, and these services are now tested and verified. The European Commission funds at this point of time 4 large consortia of the industry and academia. It create these new services, and they test, they create pilots. So we develop pilots in every European country and cross-border now in order to prove the value of this concept, in order to find to identify the pitfalls, the problems, the shortcomings, and fix them, and create technologies that really trusted and adopted by the citizens. There are 4 large consortia, each one funded by more than 25 million euros, and we are working now to create 2 more consortia. Of course, the travel industry is at the center of the attention. We are working in one of these consortia together with the industry, with everybody in the industry. You can see Lufthansa, Finnair, Amadeus. On the other side, Visa, hotels, to create the story of Hannah. Hannah goes through airline check-in, traveling, visiting registering with a hotel, visiting a museum, and present an identity in order to prove an age, because Hannah is a student, and Hannah may have a price reduction in the museum, and of course issue a ferry ticket and many other things. So that's the itinerary, the journey of Hannah. And through the journey of Hannah, we identified a number of applications that allows the use of the digital identity wallet. And we do that right now, and we'll do more in the future with this project Aptitude, which will focus more in the aviation industry, in the airports, and in the digitization of the border control authorities. The big issue is how you can move the border control authorities, like the dinosaurs of the industry, of the ecosystem, in the digitization and adopt the same standards. The aptitude is led by the French Border Control Authority. Germans are inside, so it's a big consortium. Fraport is part of the consortium. So they, you can see that travel is at the center of this experience. What we can do exactly with the EUDI wallet. This is it's not a project we plan to do, it's the project we are going to finish. We started from ferries. Why we started from ferries? Because it's easier. Huh? It's easier to create a pilot within the ferries than with airline companies. It's always more complicated because there are different regulations. Obligations they have. Ferries is like the El Dorado. In Greece, in Italy, even in the countries of Nordic countries, the regulation that they applied by the ferry industries minimal compared to the regulation imposed to the airlines. And in the ferries, we did this series of sorry. We did a chain of actions, which start by the registration of the passenger. The passenger, when the issues a ticket, is registered through an identity. We do that right now. It will be in production from September in the port of Piraeus and other ports through fast ferries, and eventually through another company too. So the registration of the customer, you have the secure issuance of a boarding pass, which is identity binded. The boarding pass includes the photo of the passenger, because the regulation requires a photo recognition when boarding, and also the issuance of a receipt, also in the same form of a verifiable credential. So in the wallet you will have also the receipt. Next day you go back to your office, and you have to submit the expenses of your travel. So the receipt is there, and it is recognized, it is accepted as a standard. We create the standard now of a receipt that will be pan-European together with the tax Finnish authority, with the Finnish tax authority. And of course, during embarkation, you present through your mobile phone with this credential, and either a scanner can scan, not the more elegant solution, or another mobile phone interacts with your mobile phone, and then the embarkation is accepted or not. And of course, part of this embarkation is the instant control of, for example, a student who paid a different price, or other persons with other privileges, or passenger of a business class. So immediately you channel the flow, this flow to a different part of the ship. So we did that, and so the pilot is ready. From September we are implement them in several ferries, and now we move to the airports, the aviation, with the experience of the ferry industry, to the airlines and airports. Two challenges: biometric traveler enrollment. So this is the first challenge. Amadeus is already working, and there is. So we created together a pilot. The pilot's available. to their line companies. So the biometric traveler enrollment, which combines the use of the EUDI wallet with biometrics. And then in the airport, you have all this kind of biometric plus EUDI wallet touch point opportunity. So the combination of the presentation of the biometrics and EUDI wallet can allow to go through a check-in, or to security check, or to boarding gates, immigration control at the arrival point. So the idea is to progressively to introduce at every step of the experience of the user, of the passenger, or these technologies. So the idea is that we can address the whole value chain of the airport, and of course minimize the necessary interaction with the airlines, because no need to create a link between the two parts. Why? Because the customer is the link. The customer wallet is the link. Everything exists only in the customer wallet. And in every presentation, verification of a credential, the process starts from scratch. No need to have databases with a lot of with stored personal information, which is not necessary. So the benefits, now you can see the benefits for the customer are obvious. You have a frictionless experience, new customer experience, and of course for the transport providers, speed up the process. Speed up the process. You know, this queues with and reduce the cost. Reduce the cost. That's clear. Reduce the cost, and of course, last but not least, this kind of technology help the aviation industry to meet the regulation standards. You can prove immediately, technically, from the, not through a report, but through a technology demonstration that you meet this regulation duty. You can see we are working with names you recognize, smaller or larger companies. iGrant is one of the wallet providers now in Europe, mostly Nordic countries, but expand. We have a close relationship with them because they have very advanced technologies, and they are trusted by the banking system of Nordic countries. This gives a more trust to their iGrant wallet. In this story of wallets, you will have certainly public wallets, government wallets, but it's clear the process is open of accreditation. You may have also private wallets. So, should I use only one wallet for everything? I'm not sure. Perhaps it is not necessary, but I will use a limited number of wallets. In the same way that I don't use one single card, credit card for everything, but I use a limited number of cards, of credit cards. This almost the same way. My expectation is that we'll have the government wallets, and the government wallets will store all our personal identity documents, and then when you have to go to more complex relationships, for example, storing boarding pass, or storing other travel documents, or making payments, because this story allows for payments. The wallet we are going to design allows for payment, and we're working closely with Google in this regard. And the payment introduced through this mechanism of wallet, it's a little bit different from the current payment mechanism. Why? Because it makes the merchant a key part of the transaction. This is a very important change we are going to introduce. So if you want the decoupling of the financial, of the banking domain, in the sense that you don't need to go everywhere to a bank in order to complete the transaction. The most significant part of the transaction, the part where the customer provides is it identified and provides the agreement, so it can happen outside of the banking system, and then the banking system recognizes the results and proceeds through this previous agreement between the merchant and the customer. This gives the merchant a lot of new power. Think of the telecom sector. We used to have the big telecoms, 5, 6, one per country, then some European telecoms, and now we have many business in the industry. Of course, the big telecoms, whatever, they provide services to the customer, and the customer does not interact directly with a big customer, with a big telecom, but through other providers. So this decoupling became evident because of the technologies, and these technologies play exactly the same role. Will decouple the financial system, the banking system, giving more the possibility to the merchant. IKEA is now working in this scenario together with Google and some Nordic companies. So IKEA will become, in a sense, a powerful merchant able to identify the customer, sign the payment request, and the payment request goes to the bank and it is proceeded straightforward. Summarize. The role of airlines is always to ensure that the passengers hold the right travel documents. The trend is whether it's possible, we have to digitize this process. This is the recommendation of IATA, and in the end of the year it will be also an ICAO recommendation. So digital travel credentials. So this is the industry path. The UDI wallet comes and provides immediate solutions, cheaper eventually, specifically for airports. For everything else, also we're using official identities. No need to go to an IATA place to create your identity. You use your official identity provided by government and verifiable credentials, the technologies that are really tamper-proof. So that's the challenge for the airlines. Adopt the new tool. Airports. For airports, the situation is really very challenging in the sense that you may have all these kind of contributions, monitor and manage queues, flows, off-airport processing solutions is very important, or of course the reducing time and increasing benefits and so on. So the EUDI wallet can introduce more automation in the airports, self-service, a lot of self-service. Specifically, we will combine it with robotics. The case of the Dubai. Think the case of the Dubai with how the consumer interacts with the robot, with the EUDI wallet. And of course, contactless touch points. By only using your wallet, not a picture that has been stored in the beginning of the journey. From this perspective, digital wallets is a new customer channel, because imagine there is a lot of interaction. You can see that even now in the Apple of Google Wallet, when something happens in your flight, you take immediately, not a message, your boarding pass integrates the updated information. So these kind of interactions are now possible and organized, so it's a new customer channel. And beyond that, it's mostly a fast checkout business model. This is what ferries understood. So if you streamline all these kind of things, you spend a lot of time in order to issue a ticket with a ferry. Since everything is the data entry is manual, and there are so many options. So and you have to pick the different tickets, price levels you have to pay. So it's streamlined, it's clear, and this allows for a fast checkout. And we proved that in a online experiment we did. We proved this fast checkout possibility now with the seal of Worldline. So it is, from many points of view, it is a fast checkout experience, and the transport providers can really benefit from these possibilities. So it's always a question which wallet, the government or the private wallet. I believe it will have a coexistence between the different solutions, not resolved, because in some cases, some countries, the governments do not allow for these private wallets to be accredited. But you know, we are a unique market, a single market. So if you have accreditation in one country, then every other country should accept this accreditation. So I believe we'll see all these opportunities of authoritative government wallets with less services inside, and private wallet with accreditation, using exactly the same standards, with providing much more services, including payments. And last but not least, other countries come to Europe in order to understand these technologies we use and adopt the same standards. Why? In order to have this frictionless flow. This is the case of Brazil, Canada. They have a lot of experience with these technologies, but we are working now together, and also Australia. So we are discussing now Europe with other countries on adopting the same standards, the same processes, so the journey of the passengers will be really frictionless and touchless, independently of whether you move within a continent or across continents. It's perhaps a bright, also bright future, presentation of the future, but we have here the tools, and I believe we have milestones to judge the evolution of this technology and the implementation of the technology.
Fantastic. Thank you, Petros. You know that. No, in the panel. The thing is that I work with Petros, but I think he gave really a lot of food for thought for the panel, as Taki said, and it's quite evolutionary and important, because at the end of the road we have to understand that the passenger is not an aviation passenger. The passenger wants to go for holidays, for business. If understand one app, they will use it for all the different purposes. For example, myself, when I go on as a tourist on holidays, I'm really complicated to understand the different apps they have, every country, every city. Then having that under one roof, it helps to make things more efficient. It's official, then it facilitates things.
And in any case, you will use this wallet, in order to access the different apps and opportunities, if you are motivated to use one of these apps, cities or smart cities. So the smart cities concept, the smart city programs, we are now in contact in order to implement these technologies in the interaction of a smart city with the citizens.
Is it a working group or is it a European Union initiative?
Yeah. It's a big European Union initiative. There are many working groups at different levels, and they are pilots. They are projects implementing. This is important. Providing concrete technology and experience.
Is there any possibility that as a Turkish airline, as Petros Airlines, I'm representing them, also we are working on this kind of concepts, of course, digital identity, mobile identity, biometrics, and etc. But is it possible to join that kind of working groups from Turkey, or is it?
The project as associated partners. We have this possibility for countries having a specific relationship with the European Union, like Turkey, like Norway. I think Norway and Switzerland can participate directly, but Turkey and other countries, Morocco, can participate in this kind of initiative as associated partners.
Okay.
So we'll be happy to discuss this opportunity. So Aptitude is a big project. We'll start in September. Fraport Greece is part of Aptitude. So yeah, if you submit a request,
we can discuss
we'll try
the
to-
opportunities
yeah,
to be part of this study.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much.